Howdy ho there, guys and gals. It's Travesty here. It's been a while since my last video, but I've good old adulting and stuff to do, unfortunately. But yeah, we're getting right back into the grind, and today I'm starting a new series called Smash or Pass, which is just gonna be basically really quick reviews slash first impressions of games. See whether or not I think it's worth your time or not. Just my humble opinion. If you do like the video, just make sure to give it a like, perhaps smash that subscribe button if you'd like to see more videos, and just a quick plug for me, if you'd like to see more content, you can catch me on Twitch Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. I'm also going to be adding Friday and starting next week. So, start in the evening time, roughly around 5. So, link in the description down below. Now let us get right into the video, comrade, eh? Alright, so for the core basics of the game, you are essentially a bunch of different anime looking ninjas, and you fight each other with different weapons and differing ninja gum abilities. Gum, that's right, like chewing gum. My first impressions of the game were actually pretty positive, to be fair. I think the concept is really interesting. There's drones on the map, and you kill those drones basically to fill up a meter that lets you supercharge your weapon and make it a bigger version on steroids. And then the little gold orbs on the map allow you to refill your energy meter so you can keep using your abilities. The colors in it are really nice. They're very pleasing to mis ojos. That's eyes for those of you who don't know in Spanish. And it's free to play. So the entry barrier is very low, obviously. It costs you nothing to try out. And thankfully, all the microtransactions are cosmetic only. So at least there's no game-breaking weapons hiding under a paywall. But the pros, unfortunately, kind of stopped there for this game. It was very underwhelming after my 12 hours of playtime in there. And you can tell within the first 5 minutes of the menu that this game is obviously marketed to children for some reason, because Nintendo hasn't realized that the average consumer of a Nintendo product is no longer a child, but rather a decrepit, old, middle-aged man like me. Like when you go into the store page, the first thing you always see is a warning screen that basically says, make sure you have your parents with you before you buy something, right? Like, okay, I think I'm good on that, but alright. Now moving on to the cons, and then this part is where the list gets really, really long. First off, I wouldn't even really consider this a battle royale like they marketed it as, considering you get loadouts right at the start. That kind of defeats the whole battle royale idea of everybody drops in with nothing and you pick all your stuff up off the map. Currently, there are only 2 maps out. There's the World Ninja Academy, which is the only one I was able to get footage of, and Eagle City. The World Ninja Academy is a bit boring of a map, though. I get it's to serve as a tutorial map, but it's literally just a big open square. There's really not much you can do about it except I see the enemy, I rush at them, turtle. And then as far as Eagle City, I could not get a match in Eagle City. I tried. I'd force the matchmaking into Eagle City, and it would still shove me into World Ninja Academy. Apparently nobody wanted to play Eagle City. And then the abilities for the different weapon classes also suffer from some pretty egregious balancing issues, to be honest. They're not even remotely balanced in the slightest. For example, the yo-yos, a couple of the ninja yo-yos have this ability that you can turn your opponent into basically a giant yellow piece of shit. And then there's a passive that goes along with those that you deal more damage to people who are yellow pieces of shit. Now, that wouldn't necessarily be a problem if it was an ability that could be spammed every 5 seconds just about. You can pretty much spam it and have a passive DPS buff the whole game just about. And that's a little wonky. Well, that's just the most egregious one that I've noticed. There are definitely a lot of other balancing issues with the other weapons. And perhaps my biggest complaint that I've had so far is the fact that the combat is pretty much luck-based. It's not skill-based, even remotely. So you can go up and start whacking somebody with your weapon, but then the parry system will more than likely kick in because they'll smash the parry button. And those are the little colorful arrows you see popping up on screen. The problem with that is it's nothing more than a game of rock, paper, scissors. That's literally all it is. Like, I can't tell you how many times I got the jump on somebody and I whacked them within an inch of their life. Like, their health bar was almost completely grayed out. I couldn't even see any color on it. And then I went and lost 3 games of rock, paper, scissors, and they got me. To further compound that issue, every kill that you get off of the parry system results in a Epone finisher, which is basically where you splatter them against the wall in gum. Which leads to another huge issue, that there is a very, very lucrative endgame bonus for whoever gets the most Epone finishers. And that's literally the difference between going from last place to potentially first place. So to have that wrapped behind literally a game of rock, paper, scissors completely takes any sort of competitive aspect out of it, which I get. It's a Nintendo game. I shouldn't have expected that much, but like, I expected at least a little bit more fair and balanced combat, a little bit more rewarding for those who are skilled. And if that wasn't enough, it's further compounded by the fact that there are definitely some predatory game mechanics in here that I'm really not fond of. I mean, first of all, there is a single player campaign to this game, actually. It's not just a multiplayer. However, guess what? It's locked behind a paywall. If you want to play the single player, you have to pay for it. Not even Fortnite made you do that. And Fortnite's pretty hungry on the microtransactions, let's be real. But even their end of the world story mode thing was still free. It was part of the game. You didn't have to pay for it, at least as far as I know. And if locking a whole section of the game behind a paywall wasn't bad enough, there's also the fact that if you want to not use the default weapon skins and you want to use some of the recolors for the weapons that they have, you have to pay an in-game currency to use them. I'm dead serious about that. Just let that sink in for a little bit. I mean, really. To use a recolor of a weapon skin, you have to pay an in-game currency. That is fucking dumb. It's basically a mobile game at that point, which is a little ridiculous. So overall, this game did not really live up to my expectations, which is a shame because I was really hyped for it, actually. I'd seen previews for it for a couple months now, and I was really excited for it. But alas, when it finally launched, the reality set in, and then we just found out it's really not that great of a game, to be honest. I would only recommend this game purely for the fact that if you have small children in your household and you want to be able to play with them, and the luck-based mechanics will help keep people that aren't exactly at a higher skill level a little bit more interested. But the luck-based mechanics are extremely frustrating. I can't do it, so unfortunately for me, it's going to be a pass. And that's where I'm going to wrap it up here, guys. Like I said, these are kind of rapid reviews. They're not meant to be super in-depth. They're just little first impressions from about 10 to 15 hours of gameplay as to whether or not it's even worth your time remotely. If you guys did like it, just a reminder, go ahead and give the video a like. And if you would like to see more videos from me, please smash that subscribe button down there. I would greatly appreciate it. And if you would like to see more of my content, I will be streaming on Twitch, like I said, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays in the evenings. And I'm going to be adding Friday on there next week. So, I hope you all have a good day, and peace out, folks.